New season, conference tournament. Going into the conference tournament on a 2-game win streak. Got a little momentum going. Is always good. We talked about it, one game at a time. Tulsa, good basketball team. Very familiar with those guys. We got to be ready for the matchup zone. We got to do a good job of attacking inside out. We can't just settle for threes. We got to try to get out in transition to beat the zone down the floor to get some easy baskets. And then we got to defend at a high level. We've done a good job on Jeriah Horn, and that has to continue. He's a big-time player that can change the game. That was a big-time shot he made against Central Florida. And overall, we just got to play well. We got to defend. Got to defend when it's time to play in the conference tournament.
Is it any easier or harder that knowing that you just played Tulsa, last a week, I guess, to the day, or when you play in the AAC tournament? Is it easier knowing that you just got that win over them?
I think it's an easier scout for both teams. We're familiar with them. They're familiar with us. That conference tournament is always tough. It's 0-0. Nobody got, any wins, losses. It's win or go home. Puts a lot of pressure on you. We just know we got to defend at a high level. The team that's going to win that conference tournament is going to defend, rebound, and play with toughness. Because sometimes when you're in the conference tournament, your shots don't always fall like that. So you got to be able to defend at a high level.
You kind of tightened up the rotation a little bit, lately. Obviously the goal is to win 4 in 4 days. So you open the rotation back up. You play guys more liberally, or you feel like you like the rotation that's going into the conference tournament?
Oh, no, I got to play to win that first game. If that's playing guys for 40 minutes, we'll do that. I can't focus on, the conference tournament being a 4-game stretch, because if you don't win the first one, it's over. So it just depends on how the ball bounces, who get in foul trouble, who's playing well. But I like those guys, that 9-man rotation has been playing a lot. But we got 2 other guys on the bench that has helped us in a couple games. So it just depends on the situation.
You mentioned just like not settling for jumpers. It seems like the last 2 games you guys have done a much better job of not settling. When you go back and watch the film, like what impresses you the most, or what seems to be the consistent theme in these last 2 games?
Number one, getting the ball inside to Morris. I think Ricky and Craig Porter are really driving the basketball. I talk to those guys all the time about 65% of your shots should be in the paint. The other 35% should be from the three-point line. And I want you guys, every time you catch it, to shot fake and drive it, and both of those guys have been doing that.
And over the weekend, you campaigned a little for Ricky to get the sixth man of the year in the AAC. Kind of, what have you seen from him that's been able to take his game to the next level and be one of the best, not even young players, but all-around players?
Number one is defense. His defense has gotten better. Last year we talked about Dexter playing a lot of minutes, and I told those guys it was because of his defense, and Ricky heard that, and he started defending. He's keeping guys in front. He's rebounding. He's doing a good job. He's getting better at taking care of the basketball. That's the thing he has to work on now, just valuing the basketball, having a better assist-to-turnover ratio. But he's one of the best players in the league, most talented guy at going to the rim, can really score it. He's had some big games, and I definitely think he's the sixth man of the year. I hope he gets the award.
And what makes him so good when he is driving to the rim? Sometimes it makes it look so easy.
He's a great finisher. He's very athletic, can finish with his left hand, his right hand, and he has a lot of confidence.
You mentioned just the ball security. It seems like that's a team-wide issue. How important is just protecting the basketball, limiting turnovers? Is that going to be one of the keys?
Yeah, that's one of the keys. We want to keep that under 13 turnovers a game. If we can take care of the basketball, you got a good chance of winning the game. If you're turning the ball over a lot, the other team is probably getting out in transition and getting some easy baskets. You can't get back and set your defense when you're turning the basketball over. So we got to value. We got to take care of it. We got to be a smart team that take good shots, that defend at a high level, and don't turn it over.
I remember early in the season, we were talking about just like the leads with this team and protecting leads, and I felt like early in the season, no lead was safe. These last 2 games, to win, to push it out, in the closing minutes. How important was that just for the confidence to protect leads going into the conference. Is that just something that's pretty crucial for this team?
Without a doubt. I mean, we've had several games this year where we had double-figure leads and we lost those games, and most of them were caused because we had turnovers. We didn't value the basketball. So during every timeout, when East Carolina made that run, we talked about that. Like, it's two things going to happen when you get a lead. Either you're going to put your foot on the gas and take it to 20, or you're going to let them get back in the game by taking bad shots and turning the basketball over. And I thought down the stretch we did a good job of taking good shots and not turning it over.
And then obviously that ghost screen action with Craig, I mean, it's just been so good in that. Just how valuable has that been, in crunch time for you guys to turn to? It seems like that's been like almost the best offense, right?
Yeah, it's been really good. Porter is great at driving the basketball to the rim. And when we have Kenny Poto in the game, we put him in the three-point spot so that it takes the big away from the basket. And Craig is able to drive and score the basketball. Ricky is able to do the same thing. And sometime when Craig drives the ball, they'll double him, and Tyson is right there to make a wide-open jump shot. And those guys have been doing a fantastic job getting in the lane, drawing fouls, and making the free throws. I think that's something that's been huge. The guys have really been making free throws down the stretch.
And to have the challenges that you guys have had this year, have you had to change anything, the way you've coached or anything, or has it just kind of been still a message of consistency?
Trying to let certain guys play through mistakes. When you're out there on the basketball floor and you make a mistake, I call them to the sideline and talk to them about just taking care of the basketball. I'm going to let you play through this one, but you got to make sure you're taking care of it. We can't have any silly plays because that's how teams get back into the game when we turn it over. If you take care of the basketball, you rebound, and you defend, we got a good chance of winning all the games.
What do you kind of get the sense of, like, the team morale going into this? I don't think a team has ever won, 4 in 4 days. What do you feel like these guys believe, and why do you guys believe it's possible you guys can be the first team?
I think it's happened before, maybe not in our conference, but I've seen it where teams have won 4 games. But you got to take it one game at a time. Right now you can throw out the records. I think these guys are confident. They feel like we can beat anyone when we play well, and when we don't, we can lose to anyone. Those guys have had a great week of practice. They got some momentum going. We're getting ready to play a team that we know is a good basketball team, but if we go out and play well and take it one game at a time, and Tulsa's the first game, we got to play well.
And Tyson kind of mentioned that, this team has gone through just about any kind of adverse situation that you could throw at a basketball team. How much do you think just going through that and going through some failure, going through some success, how much has that helped, prepare this team?
I think the number one key is we got good kids, good leadership. Those guys are high character guys, and they never get down. Even when we lose, they're down after the game, but the next day they all rally together to have a great practice. So practice has been really good. They're getting better and better these last 2 games. They know what we have to do in order to win basketball games. They know that the keys are, again, don't turn it over, rebound, defend, and if you can do those 3 things, you got an opportunity to win games.